So start standing up actually. I'm gonna sit just because I've got a low ceiling, but we'll do our traditional standing hand weight series. Hi, Karina. And you're just gonna stand there with your weights. They could be anywhere between like 1 and 5 pounds. And just as you stand there, you'll notice that even if it's not a very heavy weight, there's a little downward tug of the weight out of your shoulder, right? So you want to just a little bit shrug your shoulders up so that your collarbones really are more like horizontal or even slightly upwardly angled and not on a downward slope. So you have to shore up your shoulders a little bit, and then you're going to bend both elbows, and you'll inhale, one arm up, one arm down. Exhale, bend. Inhale, other arm up, other arm down. Exhale, bend. And you'll just notice for yourself if the tendency is to like side bend or twist a little bit, and just see if you can maneuver your arm really freely and not have to do a bunch of stuff in your trunk. A couple more. Just starting to really wake up your lungs and your rib cage. And then you're going to bend both elbows in again. Lift your elbows so they're slightly higher than your shoulders. Open your elbows and then extend your arms out to the sides. And you still want to be able to see your weights in your periphery, and then bend. So your arms are not too far behind you, but you're inhaling to extend, exhaling to bend, or vice versa. It doesn't really matter which way you breathe. Just make sure you do breathe. A couple more. Trying to do a space hold with that upper arm bone. So you might have to look in your camera to see how you're doing. And then take your arms forward and do a few here. So depending on how much your weight is, it might be a little trickier to hold your weight out in front of you. But again, your elbows are just a little bit higher than your shoulders. A couple more. And last one. And then you'll bring your weights down in front of you. You can put the heads of them together if you have a little dumbbell style weight, or just put your thumbs close together. And then you'll just zip up and then lower back down. So you're getting to where your elbows are higher up than your shoulders. And you'll feel as you do that you might have to raise your shoulder blades up a little bit, which would be normal and fine. A couple more. And then on this last one, you're going to take your arms all the way behind you, so your elbows are bent, and you're going to do little shavings. You can separate your arms if your shoulder joint needs that at the top. Or if you're able to, you can keep your hands together. One more like that. And then bring them down and around to the sides. And then you'll tuck your elbows in behind you. You're going to come into like a little crouch. So your trunk is slightly forward. And then you'll do one arm forward, one arm back. Exhale through the middle. So you have to do a little more work of lifting through that back arm. Think of trying to raise your elbow as you extend your arm. And then you'll take both arms back behind you and lift and lower your weights back there. Draw your shoulder blades a bit together. So anytime your arms are behind you, you have to pull your blades together. Good. Last one. And then take your arms out down, and you're going to open them wide and pull them back together. So there too, as your arms lift, your blades will start to collect. 2 or 3 more. Inhale to lift, exhale to lower. And then just take a forward roll with your body. Let your arms hang, and you can just let your arms, the weights kind of sink and hang on your arms. And then you're going to just take small little arm circles. So they're just like dangling, easeful circles. And then circle the other way. And then you'll roll yourself all the way up to sitting or standing. And then you'll come onto your mat on your back. You'll start with the weight in your right hand. And we'll do our shoulder mobility / rehab stuff. So you're gonna take your arm straight up over your shoulder and then make a real fist, whether you're holding a ball or a barbell, and then you're gonna lift your shoulder up away from the floor and then pull your shoulder back down. So your shoulder blade is sliding away from your spine and then back to your spine, kind of like the TSA security machine that goes around you. That's kind of how your shoulder blades work on your rib cage. And then you're gonna float your shoulder just a little, so it's not totally lifted, but it's a little bit scooped up away from the mat. And then you'll rotate your arm internally and externally. And Jason and Karina, you'll have to tip your cameras down a little bit when you have a chance, so I can see you. You're just spinning your whole arm as far in and as far out as it will spin without the shoulder blade moving. If you can't tell if your shoulder blade is moving, you can bring your other fingertips across and kind of feel for the tip of your blade and hold it still while your arm spins. Then you're going to keep everything externally rotated. Hold onto your biceps with your free hand and then spin only your forearm. So not as much range of motion, but differentiating the lower arm from the upper arm. And then you're gonna bend your elbow and straighten your elbow a few times without moving your upper arm bone or your shoulder blade. So it's just your forearm that comes down and your forearm that goes back up. A couple more. And then the next time your elbow bends, just hold it down. You can release your weight to the floor. Just let your arm be really passively bent. And you're gonna think of like the tip of your elbow tracing these little circles, but take your free hand to the tip of your shoulder blade and just figure out how much you can circle your arm without your shoulder blade having to move. It's not huge. And you can take it into another pattern. It doesn't necessarily have to be a circle, but just kind of like trace lines and arcs with the tip of your elbow so that the arm bone is really freely moving around in the socket. And then you'll keep your elbow bent, but bring your elbow to the mat and you're gonna roll your arm. So it's gonna roll out and it's gonna roll in. So your biceps are kind of rolling away from your chest and then back towards your chest. Just passive rolling of your humerus bone. And then you can take your arms straight down by your side and just notice the difference between the two sides of you in terms of your rib cage and your arm and your shoulder. And then find your weight with your left hand, and we'll do that whole series on the left side. So you'll extend your arm straight up to the ceiling, make a fist so that your hand and forearm are working, and then shrug your shoulder up away from the mat and then back to the mat. You can just breathe normally. You don't have to try to coordinate any sort of breath unless you want to. Because we use our arms differently from each other, you might have different range of motion on this side or different tightness that you feel. Then you'll keep your arms slightly lifted, so your shoulder blade is a little bit scooped up. Spin your entire arm in and out without it slipping side to side, without the shoulder blade slipping. Just rotate. You can hold on with your opposite hand to feel the tip of your shoulder blade if you want to or need to. And then the next time your arm externally rotates, hold onto your biceps with your hand and then spin your forearm in and out. And then you'll keep your arm externally rotated, bend your elbow, and then re-extend your elbow. So you're just really isolating the elbow joint, keeping it separate from the shoulder joint. 2 or 3 more. And then once you bring your weight down, you can set it to the floor. Let your elbow just be passively bent, and you're gonna do your little tracings with your elbow tip. Sometimes these are called baby birds. Like you just hatched out of your egg and you got little wet, stubby wings, and you're just trying to move them around. You don't have to circle, you can do any sort of pattern, but just figure out how much you can move your arm bone without your shoulder blade. And then you can bring your elbow to the mat and you're gonna roll your arm internally and externally. Just really passive arm rolling. And then you'll bring your arm down by your side. Just check in again with your two sides. Then keep your shoulders nice and open like they are, but just turn your palms down to the mat. Walk your feet closer in towards you and tip your pelvis a little bit back into that 12 o'clock zone. You're gonna inhale to prepare to lift both legs, and then on your exhale, float your knees towards your trunk. Shin bones can just hang. Inhale, press your feet back down without losing that 12 o'clock tilt. Exhale, float. Inhale, press back down. We'll go 3 more. Every time you float your legs, you want to keep your low back heavy to the mat so nothing is getting dragged. Last 2. And last 1. And then you're going to keep your feet down. Bring your hands behind your head. You can interlace your finger or just cup one hand over the other. And then on your inhale, you're going to scoop up your elbows a little bit so you feel your shoulder blades gathering out to your sides. Exhale, lift and curl your neck. You can be passive through your neck and use your arms. And then inhale, roll back down. Exhale, pick your head up. So your hands are lifting the weight of your head, but they're also encouraging your neck flexion. So they're helping you to spin your head around your neck. 3 more. Exhale to curl. Inhale to lower. Last 2. And last 1. Lower back down. Now we're going to put both together. So you'll inhale to prepare, and then as you exhale, you're going to float your feet and curl your upper body. Maybe your elbows and knees could connect, and then inhale, come back down. So your low back is the lowest, heaviest part of the sling, and then you're trying to pick up the 2 ends of it. So head and shoulders and sit bones. 1 more time. Stay up when you get there. Release your hands, bring your arms down by your sides. Start your pumping. You can keep your knees bent, but think about trying to pick your sit bones up, or even your whole pelvis up. And then remember, when you were holding hand weights, you didn't want your arm to get dragged down away from your ears, so you might shrug your shoulders up a little bit here too. Take yourself through about 4 more full breaths. And each one is dynamic, so your exhale changes your tissue somehow, so that you're not just holding a static position for 10 breaths, but you're really changing with each one. When you feel done, you can lower all the way back down. Lower your left foot to the mat. Extend your right leg to vertical or wherever you can get it straight. So straight is more important than vertical. Flex your ankle, and you're going to keyhole your leg. So just like that arm twisting stuff we did holding the weight, your leg is going to do the same thing. It's rotating in the socket. Pelvis is not changing, but leg is spinning. And then put your hands on your hips so you can feel where your hip crests are, slightly tipped back towards 12 o'clock. Push your leg straight forward to come down towards the mat. Try to keep your pelvis where it is. Lift it back up. Now take your leg to the right, as far as you can without your hips tipping to the right, and pick it back up. Take that again, take it forward as you inhale, pelvis stays, exhale, lift it, take it to the right, Exhale, lift it. One more time each way. Inhale the leg down. Exhale it up. Inhale to the right. Exhale it up. Cross your leg over the left leg. Hike your left hip a little bit, and then tip your legs to the left as you inhale. Once you're over, keep your legs crossed, but straighten your right knee. Exhale, press home. Rebend the leg. Inhale, tip it over. Straighten the right knee without uncrossing the legs. Exhale, press it home. Rebend. One more time. Over, extend, and lift. Uncross that leg, stand into your right foot. Raise your left leg to where it can be straight. Flex your ankle and then keyhole your legs like you're turning a key in a lock. Notice the difference in coordination and refinement from one side to the other. And then put your hands on your hip press just for feedback. Inhale, lower the leg down in front of you without your pelvis tipping with it. Exhale, pick it up. Inhale the leg to the left. You have to do something in your right side so that your pelvis doesn't get pulled to the left. And bring it up. Take it forward again, inhaling. Exhale, lift it. Take it to the left. And lift. One more each way. And out to the left. And then you can cross your leg over, hike your hips to the right slightly, and then tip your legs to the right. Extend your left knee, and then bring it back to center. So you want your thighs crossed all the way, if you can, and hike your hip, and then straighten your knee, and return. One more time. Take it to the right. Straighten your knee, return, uncross it. Find your hand weights, one in each hand. Extend your legs out in front of you and flex your ankles, and then raise your arms up to the ceiling. Take your arms a little bit back. They don't have to go all the way, but keep your rib cage heavy as your arms go back, and then you begin your roll up. So you're going to lift your arms first, then start to float your head, neck, and shoulders. As soon as you get stuck, exhale. And if your weights are on the heavier side, when you come up, you might just bend your elbows a little bit so that they stay close to you. And then roll back down. Change your pelvis. Extend your arms when you are able. And take them back behind as far as you can keep your ribcage heavy. Take your arms up again. So you lift your arms first so that your head's not like in front of your arms. And reach out over your legs. Manage your weights however you need to. Revolve your pelvis to go back down. Try to really push your thighs down. And then take your arms back. 3 more times. Arms lift. You follow. And you can always choose not to use your weights if they're not helping you. But sometimes they do help you roll up through that sticky spot that you might have in your back. 2 more. Maybe each one gets a little more fluid, a little more pliable as your tissues warm up. Roll back down. And last one to go. Good. Roll back down. Get your weights out of your way. And then extend your leg, right leg, up towards the ceiling. Interlace your fingers behind your thigh. Let your knee be bent. And then push your thigh into your hands so your elbows are straight. You might do a little 6 o'clock tilt here. So if you're too 12 o'clock tilted, your standing leg will come off the mat. If you do a little bit of 6 o'clock, you might get your left thigh closer to the mat. You're going to hold all that and then just lift and lower your shin. So you're anchoring your hip joint, keeping it still, and then just moving your knee. And it may or may not straighten, but it's going as straight as it can go. Hold your leg as straight as it can be now for your foot circles. Keep the pressure of your thigh into your hands, and then change direction. And then you'll point and flex through the ankle. The next time your foot is pointed, start to push your leg more forward. It's going to make you lift your head, neck, and shoulders. Keep pushing your leg forward till you're about up in your hundreds curl. And now see if you can hold your leg there as you climb up it. Flex your trunk to your leg, and then take a little rock forward over your sit bones. Rock it back up, and roll it down. Try to keep your leg right where it is, so it's on a more forward diagonal than it was a minute ago. And then you come back up. Flex your trunk towards your leg, rock forward, rock it up, and roll it down. One more time. Use the pressure of your leg reaching forward to help you get up smoothly. Roll it forward. Bring it up. And climb it back down. Getting ready for single leg circle, you'll press your arms down by your side. Just like in crossovers, hike your left hip to start the twist. And then as you circle down and around, remember those little leg practices we did, where you can move your leg independently of your pelvis when you choose to. 3 more in this direction. Shoulders are nicely anchored into the mat, especially your right shoulder, so it opposes the twist. And then when you reach the top, you can change direction. Leg opens without dragging the pelvis along. Exhale to bring it up. So knowing when you want to move your leg, when you want to twist your trunk. 3 more. Reach out a little more through the crown of your head so that your neck isn't getting pulled around. Last one. Draw your knee into your chest. Give it a little squeeze. And then you can take it down. Extend your left leg up. Interlace your fingers the opposite way if you remember how you did it. And push your leg into your hands so your elbows are straight. Little bit of 6 o'clock tilt to get your standing leg down lower. And then lift and lower your shin a few times. You're being really clear about just moving through the knee joint. It will get as straight as it gets. Over time, it might get straighter. And then leave it as straight as it can be for your foot circles. Change direction, circle the other way. And then point and flex through your ankle joint. And then you're going to keep your foot pointed, push your leg forward more so your head and neck start to come up. When you get about to your hundreds curl, try to keep your leg about there and then climb up it. Wherever your leg is at the top, that's really where it's going to end up staying. Flex your trunk to your leg and then rock it forward. Rock it up. Hold your leg there like it's pushing against a wall, and you climb down. Climb back up. Try to press your standing leg more into the ground to help anchor you. Rock forward, float up, and then roll down. And one more time. Rock and lift and roll it down. Once you're down, press your arms. Start your single leg circle with a little hip hike to the right, and then circle down and around and up the other side. Breathing in to rotate, breathing out to lift. Keep your pelvis pretty level as you come around so you're not going to push off your low back to lift your leg. 2 more, 1 more, I can't remember. and press your left shoulder down to oppose that twist. When you're ready to reverse, you do, and your circle is going to take the same amount of time as a deep breath. So you can use your breath to pace your movement. It's kind of a good gauge for getting a nice flowing tempo. You're not so slow that you have to hold your breath, but you're not so fast that you feel like you can't catch your breath. 2 more. Last one. And then you'll bend your knee, give it whatever stretches you need. And then you'll roll yourself up to sitting. You can try rolling like a ball with your hand weights. It changes your weight distribution. So you can kind of hold on like with your forearms or something, or your hands. It kind of depends on the shape of your weight or the amount of your weight. But you find your balance. You pull your shoulders just a little together, and then think of your hip tips and your rib tips curling towards each other. So you're going to curl your pelvis to roll back and to come up, right? So it might take you a few to figure out how to calibrate with your weights. And if you don't like the weights, you can always get rid of them. Take 4 or 5 more. And do some of each. But just feel that curling of your pelvis starting the roll. 2 more. And last one. And then you're going to set yourself up for stomach series. So roll down onto your back and just rest your head for a minute. Hug your knees in. So you're going to hold onto your left knee and ankle. And then you're going to push your left knee and ankle into your hands, just like you did for tree. Push forward so that your elbow straightens and you get up a bit. Now slide your right leg forward. Now try to stay lifted that much as you switch and switch. So the bottom of your sling is your low back. It's going to stay heavy all the time and not get rocked around by your leg movement. 2 more. And then both knees come in. Take your arms and legs straight up. Circle your arms, hug your knees home. Now take your arms and legs a little further away from each other and circle to come home. And then a little further away. On our last one, legs might go 2 inches off the ground. And now take your left leg up, right leg forward. Push your left leg forward to get up a little higher. And then switch for a little pulse, pulse, and switch, switch. So you're not really bouncing, but you're furthering that reach. Lifting up through the back of your neck. And then both legs up, hands behind your head. Inhale, push your legs down as far as your low back can stay heavy. Exhale, pick them back up. Inhale, shoulder blades are scooped up away from the mat. Exhale, lift. 2 more, push down, lift up. Last one. And bend both knees, take it to the left first, inhaling over and across, exhaling the other way. When you come through the middle, try to lift a little higher, so you don't lie down to switch, but you lift up to switch. 1 more each way. And then rest your head. Open your knees, put the soles of your feet together. Like you're saying your prayers with your feet. And see how far forward you can slide your feet, keeping your toes together. And then bend your knees, slide them back in. So that takes a little bit of rotation inside the hip sockets, and then a bit of twisting through the ankles and feet. And just kind of see what limits you from getting straighter. Is it something in the hip? Is it something in the foot? Are you getting a cramp? Just kind of figure it out. 1 more. And then you're going to roll yourselves up to sitting. for spine stretch. You can sit on top of something if it's hard to sit upright with your legs out straight. You're gonna hold one weight in both hands. If you have a heavier weight, like if you have a little dumbbell style, you can just hold it between your hands. If you have lighter weights, you can just hold one in each hand, but you're gonna start with your elbows bent. Sit up nice and tall, and then reach your arms straight forward. You're gonna tip your head a little, and then send your weight out in front of you. You might be a little flatter in your spine. You don't have to bend tightly. Roll back up, bend the elbows. Push your weight forward, tip your head, reach forward. Go as far forward as you can exhale. When you're out of air, inhale, come back up, bend the elbows. Reach the arms, exhale forward. Push your legs down harder as you go forward. So one more time, we're gonna stay out there. The further forward you go, the more you have to push your legs down, and then just set your weight on in front of you so you can let go of it. Hold on to your ankles and bend your knees. You might have to scoot forward or back for open leg rocker. But lean back a little so your toes are off the ground. Notice if you're kind of falling into your shoulder blades and draw them together slightly. Extend your legs and then try to hold that shape just as it is. Curl your hip tips to your rib tips and vice versa to get up and down. So you're doing internal work to roll the shape. On the outside, it just looks like the shape stays the same the whole time. So you're not readjusting your hands or your knees. Easier said than done. 2 more. And last one. Then you're going to take your hand weights in your hands, roll down onto your back. You're going to let your palms be upwards so the weight is anchoring your hand down. Legs are straight. They don't have to be vertical, but they have to be straight. And we're going to tick-tock first. So hike your hips to the right. Anchor your opposite shoulder. Exhale, come back. You might not go as far because you're used to pushing your palms down. Now hike your hips to the left. And come back. Hike to the right. Return. Hike to the left. Return. You can keep doing tick-tocks or you could corkscrew the whole way. Inhale to the right, down and around. Keep your low back heavy. Exhale up the other side. Reverse it over to the left. Oppose your legs. And reverse one more time. Just taking it as big or small as you need to. Last time to the left. Bend both knees. And you roll all the way up. Keep just one weight again for saw. So you'll have your legs pressing down, elbows are bent. You'll rotate to the right, and then as you reach your arms forward, you're going to spine stretch over to the right. Push your left hip and leg down more. Come back up. Take it the other way. You rotate, and you push your arms forward as you spine stretch, but you're not going to tip off your hip. You're going to press your hip down more. So rotate, push your legs down as you go. And again, you could be a little straighter in your spine as you reach forward, or you could be more tightly bent, just whatever feels safer and better. One more each way. Last one to the left. And then set your weight away. You'll come onto your tummy for swan. We're going to do a little steeple first. So open your legs, maybe not quite as wide as your mat, and then bend your knees and put the soles of your feet together, if you can. So it's that foot twisting thing again. And if possible, you're going to aim your toes upwards, because that is your steeple. unless that makes your feet cramp terribly, and then you can separate your feet a little bit. So you can just rest your head. The front of your pelvis is going to stay nice and heavy, as though you've got a sandbag on the back of your hips. And then your feet are just gonna lengthen down towards the mat. So your knees are getting a bit straighter, and then your knees will bend. So there's a limit to how straight your legs can go, similar to that leg sliding thing we did with our feet together. There's something that's gonna stop you, probably in your hip joints, and maybe a little bit in your ankle and foot joints. But just go one more like that. And then you're gonna separate your feet, lengthen your legs down to the mat. Now go into a little baby butt. So you're gonna lift your sit bones up. So you do a little inchworm, and then press your sit bones down, flattening the front of your pelvis. Inhale, sit bones lift. Exhale, lower and flatten it out. One more. It's just your 12 o'clock to 6 o'clock tilt. So when you flatten your pelvis to the floor, you're in your 12 o'clock tilt. If you straighten your knees all the way, your kneecaps will not be touching the floor. Then bring your hands underneath your shoulders, float your head up to the level of your spine, and then start to look forward and go into your swan. Try to keep your legs straight the whole time. I would say it's more important to keep them straight than it is to keep them together. So if they have to separate a little bit to keep that straight-legged action going, then go for it. Come back down. The amount you lift kind of varies from one week to the next. You don't have to straighten your elbows all the way. Come back down. And then come up onto your forearms. Heart is lifting. Legs are long and straight, and then you're going to bend and kick your right heel twice. Extend and lower. Other leg twice and lower. Kick, kick, and reach. Sometimes I try to pick my thigh bone up when I straighten my leg. Just keeps me a little more active through that back line. Kick, kick, and reach. One more each way. Last one. Come back down. You're going to turn your head to the right. If your weight is not too much, you can hold it between your hands behind you. If that's too much, just do it without a weight for double leg kick. So sit bones are reaching down. You're going to triple kick and then extend your arms and legs back. Definitely squeeze your blades together. Turn your face, triple kick. Inhale, squeeze to lift. Exhale, bend and lower the elbows. So you're kind of massaging your shoulder joints here, letting those arm bones turn in and then letting them turn out. One more each way. Triple kick. Inhale to lift. Exhale, triple kick. And lift. And then move your weight out of the way. You can take yourself through a little child's pose, since we were on our tummies for a long time. And then you'll bring your legs forward for neck pull. And you can hold on to a single weight again between your hands. Make your way all the way down onto your back. And then take your weight up to the ceiling. It's like you're holding a steering wheel or something. So legs are pressing slightly apart. Ankles are flexed. You'll start to curl up. When you are able to, you're going to bend your elbows and ever so gently put the weight on the back of your skull, not your neck, but your skull, and just flex forward. You don't have to pull on your weight, but just let the weight assist you in that forward bend. Gently. And then inhale to sit up tall. Arms can lift and start to reach forward. Exhale, hinge back with a straight spine for as long as you can manage. And you take that again. So you're lifting and curling. It's easier when your arms are straight because it displaces more weight out in front of you. Then once you're up, you can bend your elbows very gently. Let the weight assist your neck stretch. You're not tugging on yourself. Sit up tall, reach your arms out in front, and exhale, pivot. Pelvis rotates around leg bones. Just 2 more. Lift and curl. Exhale as soon as it gets sticky or stiff, and then flex into it. Inhale to lift. Exhale, pivot. 1 more time. Exhale. Inhale to come up. Exhale, pivot. You're gonna find your second weight. So you have 1 in each hand for shoulder bridge. Palms are gonna be upwards. So it helps anchor your shoulders in that open position, but it takes away the hand pressing. So you have to like figure out some other way to support yourself. So you'll go into your pelvic tilt, lift your hips, and then press your feet down as you pick your chest up. Your shoulder blades could kind of slide together. Keep your chin up so your neck curvature is still there. And then if you need to, release your shoulder blades from each other. Roll back down. Pass through your 12 o'clock tilt. You can go all the way into 6 o'clock. You can kind of overshoot that level pelvis if you want to. And then tip to lift. Heart lifts. Airway stays nice and clear. And then you come back down. 2 more times. Rotate to lift. And 1 more. And then you come all the way down. You can straighten your legs out in front of you, pick up your weights, and roll yourselves up to sitting for spine twist. So again, you can just hold on to 1 weight between both hands. You sit up nice and tall, pushing your thighs down. Keep your elbows bent so your weight is right in front of your sternum, and then as you exhale to twist, it just stays in front of your sternum. So you're just turning your trunk and not pulling yourself around with your arms. Just winding up through your trunk muscles. Exhaling to turn. Inhaling to center. Exhaling to turn. 1 more each way. And then you're gonna set your weight away. Actually, you can keep your weights for rollover if you want to try it like that. We'll do rollover instead of jackknife. So you're gonna have your palms up, which is a little different from what you're used to. Think of doing that 12 o'clock tilt and bringing your hip tips towards your rib tips. That's gonna take you over. Keep your chin up. Separate your ankles, flex them, and then as you roll down, press back through the crown of your head. Legs come together, you take it again. Toes can point to roll over. Keep your chin up. Separate your legs, flex your ankles to roll down. 1 more time. Point to roll over. Flex to come down. And then close the legs, reopen them. Keep your ankles flexed now. Roll over as your spine warms up. Maybe you could get your feet closer to the floor. Point as you bring your legs together to come down. 2 more times. Flex the ankles. Flex your trunk to get your legs lower. Point the feet to come down. Last one to go. And roll. Then get your weights out of your way for side kicks. Let's start on your right side first. You can have your hand under your head, or you could put your head all the way down. Legs are just slightly forward for balance. Lift your top leg. Aim your heel a little bit higher than your toes, slightly internally rotated, and then do your small circles. So it's that outer heel that's picking up. And then reverse direction. You'll take your heel front, up, take your toe back. So it's that same keyhole rotation, just a little bigger range of motion. Think of pulling your ribs into your back space a little bit. And then legs come together, top leg rises, and you'll kick it forward and then a little further. Point, take it back, and a little further. Push your standing leg down, particularly as the lifted leg goes back, so that you're anchoring yourself along the whole right side of you. Last time, front and back. Legs come together, point your toes, kick up high, flex, pull down. Keep your leg in your periphery so that your pelvis doesn't roll backwards. And then reverse your foot for 3. Flexing up, pointing down. Last one. Set your head down on your arm. Bring your legs more in line with your trunk now. Put your insteps together, even your big toes together. Inhale, legs come up. Exhale, they go down. Inhale, they go up. The higher they lift, the more you have to start to side bend in your waist. This time, leave them up. Bottom leg will go down and up. Down and up. One more time. And then top leg will go up and down. Up and down. Last one. And then you can flip over to your other side. You can just roll over if you want, or you can flip so you can keep seeing your camera. Head is propped up if that's comfy on your shoulder and your neck. And then legs slightly forward. Leg rises and heel is slightly higher than toes so that you can tap into that outer hip as you circle. Try to keep your waist very quiet and just move the leg. And then change direction. Circle it the other way. And then aim your heel to the front, up and over, toe to the back. External rotation, internal rotation. The rotation changes at the top of the arc. It's just a little freer to move up there. Last time to the back. And then legs together. Flex your ankle, kick it to the front and a little further. Point to the back. To the front and a little bit more. To the back and a little bit more. Try to keep your standing leg pressing down into the mat. Last one. Legs come together, turn out your foot, and then kick up with a point. Pull down with a flex. If you aim your leg too much to the side, then your hip will kind of fall backward. So you have to aim it slightly forward according to your rotation, and then reverse your foot, flex it up. Point it down, up, down. One more time. And then you put your head down on your arm. Legs come back so they're in line with your body, like you're on your side on a balance beam. Both legs come up, both legs go down. They go up, they come down. 2 more. If you lift them higher, you have to do a little side bend through your waist, which is fine. And then you'll leave them up, bottom leg will go down and up. Try not to twist your foot, but really pick your thigh up to close the legs. Keep them both up, and then top leg goes up and down. And then you'll find your weights and roll onto your back for teaser. You could also do a single weight if 2 weights is too much. So if you remember the teaser on the reformer, when your hands are holding the straps, you're going to kind of do that same action. So you'll bring your head, neck, and shoulders up, start to reach your weights up, And then pick your legs up. You might have to bend your elbows if you have heavier weights, and then roll back down to the bottom. You can do different things each time. You can change, try something new, come up again. And on the third one, if you want, you could try no weights and just see if they gave you some information. And then roll back down to the bottom. Find your weights again. You're gonna just hold them for can-can. So you'll slide your elbows back and you're just holding your weights in your hands so it anchors your arms back there. And then you'll bend your knees. You're gonna twist to the right, then the left, then the right, and you take your can-can kick, straightening and bending. So you'll inhale for 3 twists, left, right, left again, and then exhale to kick. So it's a nice long inhale as you wind it up. Big exhale. Long inhale to wind it up. Big exhale. One more set. Keep your shoulder blades squeezing together and your chest lifting up. Kick. Last time, left, right, left again, and kick. Come up to sitting for seal. You'll do it without your weights at all. We can do the archival seal, which is the one where your knees stay the same width, but your feet twist. So you say your prayers with your feet. It's not because your knees opened that your feet came together, but it's because your feet twisted. So that we have pliable, flexible ankles. So you've twisted your feet towards each other, and then you're gonna curl your toes towards your face. And that action of your feet is gonna roll you over, and you're gonna roll up. Then you take that again. So twist your feet to roll back. Exhale up. And again, twist to roll. Exhale up. Twist to roll. Exhale. 3 more. It's okay if your feet cramp. They're just working in a new way. Last one. And then just bring the soles of your feet together, let your knees open. You can hold your feet or your ankles. Just take a little forward bend, enough that your head and neck can just hang. And you can just do like little gentle pendulum swings with your nose. So your head is just kind of rocking from side to side. And maybe you can take it into a few little circles in each direction. And then you'll bring yourself all the way up to be done.